and months and months, and I'm finally going to talk about this film. I see in the chat, Paul Ham. Let's talk about this film.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey, everybody, welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I am Dino, as always, and yes, I'm finally. It's been maybe close to a year, months and months and months that I've waited to talk about this film, and I'm finally going to talk about it, Paul Ham. And you say, classic Euro horror film. We've got a lot to talk about here. Anyways, let me say hello to everybody. And if they even know this is live, they've seen it in the feed for like months. So it is live. I am here. I am going to talk about this film. This is the second film in the trilogy of the Blind Dead series. Although there's a new film out called Curse of the Evil Dead, which from 2020, and it's based on the characters from, I think, the whole Blind Dead series, which I'm not here to talk about that one, but it is going to be interesting to chat about here. Let me say hello to everybody. Vicky Array, what is going on? Good to see you. Connie Cleary, as always. Hey, 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 it's Dave Plouffe. Even Bo knows what time it is when she hears the intro. Yeah, I can't get the intro going. I mean, Ted's still in the background there, and hopefully me and Ted start doing something again here soon, but we'll see. And Paul Ham is here. Jimmy D was here earlier. Again, I'm not sure how many people are going to see it. There are 4 before the new one. 4 of them. Okay, so see, the Blind Dead series was not just a trilogy. It was a 4 or 5. So they keep going on. Hey, Sweet Indigo, what is going on? Good to see you. There is, let's see, Return of the Evil Dead, 1973. This film, like I said, the second in the Blind Dead series, the writer-director Armando de Osorio. If I butcher names, I do. It's a Spanish film. It's European horror. And this is in a class of all of itself. You know, like it's kind of like the Giallo films. You know what I mean? There's a certain feel, a certain atmosphere to a lot of these movies. And the first one, there is a big problem with this series so far, especially the second film. The timeline. There are lots of little things, and he wrote and directed the film. So after doing the first one, which was Tombs of the Blind Dead, which I really, really enjoyed. Over time, I've enjoyed that one a little bit more, especially on second watch. That was a really good movie. A lot different feel than this one for sure, but the first one, really, really good. And the way the first one ended left me going, because the timeline's all messed up in this movie, and you got to admit that, Paul. Kelly K, hey, what's going on? Dino, sorry about the. No worries, you're fine. Jeremy Heath, what's going on? They are all standalone stories. Yeah, okay, I give you that. Still, because the way that first one ended left you thinking. They were out in the daytime, and in this story they talk about 500 years ago, these here, let me read it for you. I'm going to just give you guys a brief summary of this film and then start talking about it, because there's a lot of funny things. I'm sorry. 500 years after they were blinded with the fire torches and executed for committing human sacrifices. A band of Templar knights, yes, the Knights Templar, returns from the grave to terrorize a rural Portuguese village during its centennial celebration. So everybody's partying in the middle of the city. It's perfect time, but I'll tell you how that happened. Um, let's see. Being blind, the Templars find their victims through sound, usually the screams of their victims, taking refuge in a deserted cathedral. A small group of people must find a way to escape from the creatures. From the first movie, you really knew that they were like the heartbeat. They could hear the heartbeat, especially when they went in there and she was cornered and you can boom, boom, boom. And she's trying to calm down, lower the heartbeat. And then the second one, I heard the heart beating, especially when they were in the cathedral, but I didn't see them going after the heartbeat. I don't know, but sounds, of course, yeah. Anyways, that's basically what the movie's about, and then there is a lot to talk about here. Hey, CM, what is going on? Good evening, everyone. I have a terrible cold. Sorry to hear that. I'm too tired to chat. Have a good night. Peace and blessings. Get well, CM. It's going around. Pink Panther, what's going on? Okay, so I did watch this film with my daughter last night, and she's 18, she's 19, she's watched a lot of these movies with me, and we most certainly got a lot of chuckles out of the thing, and a lot of why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? But uh, she didn't care for it all that well. I would give it. Listen, I'll tell you my rating right now. I thought it was a 5 out of 10. It was right down the line. It was nothing spectacular. It was okay to watch. Again, if you're in the mood for a kind of a slow pace, that's the way these Euro horror films were, and even some of the giallo films were back in the 70s. They were paced very slowly, and not only did the zombies, the resurrected Knights Templar, walk very slowly, and I'll get into that too. The movie was very slow, very, very slow. And if you don't dig that, then, it might not be your cup of tea. But I think for people who love this type of movie, or is a Hammer fan, Hammer movies in the 70s were kind of the same way. Not all of them, but, slow pace, telling a story. But I really don't know what he was thinking, talking about the director of this movie, Armando de Osorio, because the writing was a little bit off in a lot of things. A lot of things didn't connect and stuff. Like the fireworks. Listen, and I'm being nitpicky here. The fireworks. There was a gentleman by the name of Jack Marlowe. Is that his name? Let me see. Listen, this is a casual conversation. Hopefully, you guys enjoy me talking about it a little bit. But Jack Marlowe, who and let me mention that these people had eyelashes that looked like mustaches. Okay, Murdo, who I'll talk about in a second, had a unibrow. But the eyelash, I mean, the eyebrows, man, they were bushy caterpillars. I know, there was more here in the 70s, but Jesus criminy. Anyways, Jack Marlowe was this gentleman who came in to the celebration, the town, and he was the main character in this. And there was Vivian, who was the femme fatale, the beauty in this, which I thought it was going to be the blonde. Like, let me go to the beginning of this movie. The beginning of this movie is they go over the scene of the Knights Templar being killed, burned in the eyes, and all of that stuff. So I get it. 500 years ago, the Knights Templar were sacrificing human beings for whatever. So the townsfolk got together and they killed them all. And somehow 500 years later and subsequently, they come to life. They come to life. And especially during celebrations or whatever, I don't know. In the first movie, it was, I think if I can remember, it was music, and I think there was some blood involved. But in this one, as the town is getting ready for the celebration, and I'll get back to the characters. Uh, Murdo is this kind of deformed, kind of Quasimodo type character. You know what I mean? Where he's running around the place, you know, and the kids, they start chasing him through the city, and they're beating the heck out of him. All these 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, they're beating the crap out of him. You know what I mean? And this blonde, well, no, he went to the safety of the blonde who came running through the village, and the kids started attacking her, trying to get her groceries and whatever else. Weird. And I thought the blonde would have like be the one that kind of survived or something like that in this movie, but I'll just say no. I mean, no. But he comes to her aid, and they beat the crap out of Murdo, which is a cool name, Murdo. But he's the one that's kind of this. And then I felt sorry for him. I'm like, why don't they leave this Murdo alone? He was trying to help the lady, but then you find out he's kind of like lurches through the brushes, and he's some kind of peeping Tom, and he's creepy. He's very creepy, and he's not a good guy. But let me see. Let me make sure everybody. Hey, Ian Sharp, what's going on? Did you watch all three in the trilogy, Pink Panther? No, this is the second one. I watched the first one, did it a long time ago, and talked about it. And I watched this one last night with my daughter, and it was a 5 out of 10. It was okay. It was okay. That's all. He was another Torgo, LOES, Torgo. Yeah, listen, I do movies that aren't real popular, so I don't know what to tell you. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, all that good stuff. So I want to get this out of the way. I want to get my thoughts on this and my feelings. But Murdo, all of a sudden, after we see Jack Marlowe and Vivian walking through, because you're introduced to the mayor and all his thugs. He's the mayor of the town in this Spanish village, and he's got his henchmen around him. And Jack Marlowe is interested in Vivian, who Vivian is the secretary, helps out the mayor. The mayor really likes her. His henchmen really like her. And Jack Marlowe evidently had an affair with her years ago somewhere, and they all get jealous. So I love the part in there where the mayor has his henchmen go beat him up. And they really don't beat him up. They're like punching him in the gut. And me and my daughter are laughing like crazy because every time they hit him in the gut, he stands up. It's like, nothing's hurting this guy. It doesn't hurt him. But the fight scene was pretty damn funny. And then he goes, there's trouble. Let's get going. Forget about it. But anyways, meanwhile, Murdo from Manos, the Hand of Fate, they're keeping it. Oh, yeah. No, I know who you're talking about, Pink Panther. Somewhat like that. Yeah, same type of character. But Murdo, this deformed Quasimodo type of guy, he takes this woman out to where the remnants of the graves are. And hey, Paul, I hope you're still here listening, because I didn't hate it, but there are things I got to touch on, because I don't know. So the slower paced kind of movies like these aren't my cup of tea, but they're usually a 5 out of 10 for me. Murdo takes this woman. I don't know where the woman came from, but he decides to kill her and let the blood drip into the graves of the Knights Templar. And this kind of spurs on them rising from the grave. So they rise from the grave, and then they're after. Murdo is a creep, no sympathy for him. Yeah, mass beatings. Ian Sharp, right. Listen, I hope people catch this on the replay. Anyways, where was I? So Murdo gets the blood, and they all arise from the grave, and he thinks he's like their servants or something. He's like, "I'm helping you guys. I'm helping you." I don't know how he knew that, but uh, they just ride their horses over him. But again, it's a really cool scene where the hands are skeletal, and you could see just the skin, the dying, decaying skin over the hands, reaching out from the caskets and the dirt in the grave and all that. And they're slow. They're probably the slowest moving zombies I've ever seen in a movie, in any movies. Okay, so they are slow. I mean, you could pretty much just walk right through them at a good pace. This was another problem I had with a lot of the movie. When they're on their horses, they're fast. Okay. Uh, Super fast, jump on a dead horse, which I think that's cool too. There's a scene where the blonde-haired girl lifts up the thing, and you see kind of a decaying horse too, which is kind of cool. But hello, Paxilus, what's going on? The next one is the Ghost Galleon. Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm gonna watch him, Paul. I'm gonna watch him, that's for sure. But doesn't mean I don't have problems with these types of movies. I don't know. Just like the Giallo, I watched over 40 of them, and handful of them I loved, and I just kept talking about, and the rest of them about 50. Um, so they kind of just ride over Murdo, and they don't kill him, and I wondered, why didn't they kill him? They did leave him there. So I don't know. Maybe he did do some kind of work for them and they gave him that gift. But listen, I don't know. They arise from the grave to just kill everyone in sight. That's all. Ghost Galleon is my jam. Well, let's hope it's a little bit better than this. Unc Dre Finest, what's going on? Good to see you. Um, yeah, I'm trying to pick out little bits of this movie that really got to me, but it is what it is. That once on their horses, they all gallop to the middle of the city, where it's the easiest place to get them. Although they do make a stop at it's like a little station. I don't know, where the guy's on a telephone to tell the mayor and stuff what's going on. It's funny. There's a governor too who the mayor calls a little bit later on, telling him that things are going crazy here, and people are dying, and the governor's got this young girl there that young woman there that he's he's this 70-year-old governor who's play toy, whatever. I don't know. That's the way it was back then, right? In these movies, anyway. And he just kept saying, yeah, 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 yeah. And he didn't care. There's a little town. Who's going to believe that there's a bunch of zombies riding on horses? But basically they get to this village. Okay, the blonde girl's kind of running around, and she kind of gets away. She runs into the village, and she's good. And again, a very beautiful girl. I thought she would. I passed on. There was a gentleman with a big mustache and his buttoned-up shirt. Hey, come on, baby. What do you mean? He rushes in on the blonde girl who found her way into this little cottage, trying to hide away. Did you like that, Paul? That was kind of funny. Try some Paul Naschy films, Giallo, Werewolves. Yeah. I think those are the ones I may get into again. I will eventually get to the Ghost Galleon one, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get through this kind of quickly. I know I took months to talk about it, and I'm kind of all over the place at the moment, but again, there's a thing in this film where they talk about they rise, at dusk, whatever, whenever that blood gave, they rose from the grave to go kill everybody, and they must return to their graves at dawn when the light comes up, the sun arises. It does happen in this film in a different way. I'll talk about the ending in a second, but in the first film, it was daytime. They got on a train. It was totally daylight. So that didn't kind of fit for the first movie. But like Paul said, different one. Stairpike, there you are, Stairpike. So you are good. You are good. Stairpike was having some trouble getting in the chat or even showing up in the chat. But I'm like, Stairpike, you're good, buddy. I don't see why you wouldn't be in the chat, but good to see you, Stairpike. Cheerio, Maderio. Good to see you. Tonight there is a surprise mix of CBS Radio Mystery Theater tonight. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you guys missed the stream I did and last night the internet went out. I had all night long Great Gildersleeve. Listen, I know it's a comedy. People are Great Gildersleeve's awesome, but different folks on this channel like different things. So, but the detective mixed bag I did like a couple nights ago, man, had a lot of really good, rare episodes in it, like Bill Lance and Raffles. Raffles was awesome. Raffles is a detective that, his character is really, really good, and the shows make for a wonderful listen. And hopefully you guys noticed that in the timeline. I put the timestamps in there and all that. Was really good. But last night I couldn't help it. 4 hours and I was sleeping and the internet went down. Then it came back on and started replaying Kolchak the Night Stalker. So I had to relist that one. Drove me kind of crazy. And Saturday for game night, the battle is going to be of kaiju monsters. Okay. So like Godzilla versus Mothra and other creatures like that from the films. So it's a little bit different, but I'm going to try it out. You know me, I'm always tinkering. And then me and Dave on Sunday night, we'll be talking about Kolchak the Night Stalker Firefall, which only has 3 likes right now because I had to repost it. So, so that is that. Absolutely love Gildersleeve. Yeah, me too, man. The final of the original Blind Dead films is Night of the Seagulls. Yes, I did know that, Paul Ham. And Curse is the 2021. Is that part of this, or is that just based on characters? You would probably know, I would think. But yeah. So anyways, to make a long story short, and let me get through this really quick. They get to the village, okay? On their horses, the zombies are the Knights Templar. They're basically in your basic Grim Reaper, like the Scrooge, the last one. It comes, you skeleton face with flesh. You can poke it and they would probably fall apart. That's the other thing. But they look spooky as hell. The look to the film and the characters look cool, look great. But they walk too slow. They walk too slow. I know when they're on their horses, and even when they corner somebody and then they start swinging with their arm, they start swinging fast. But they literally walk so slow that anybody can get away from them. But they're filming it like nobody's going to get away from these guys. You know what I mean? I was a little confused, but it is based on characters and not very good. Curse of the Blind Dead. Okay, I figure. Hey, listen, it's a 2020, 1970s, totally different field. You can get away with some of that stuff in the 70s because that's what it was all about, and it had a certain atmosphere to it. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Pink Panther's laughing. Yeah. They're not coming for you, Barbara. Yeah, they're even slower than that. Listen, I was perplexed. But again, I also said earlier, the fireworks. Jack Marlowe did the fireworks for this celebration. And the fireworks went on and on and on. And I'm like going, and me and my daughter are laughing, going, what? How much fire? I know it's a stupid thing, but we just noticed it. Every time they would cut, and it would be 20 minutes later, they'd cut, and the fireworks are still going. 20 minutes later, it's still an hour later, it's still going. That's a lot of fireworks. And there's a later scene where they're fighting the zombies and they light some fireworks, and they right by him, he's just going like this, lighting it up in his hand and I'm like going, dude, you're nuts. But needless to say, there's this small group. There's a man and I think it's his wife and his little daughter. Little daughter's probably about 11 years old. They find this cathedral. He gets on a little, what kind of vehicle they like a little moped type thing, and they find a cathedral to hide out in. And they go hiding out in there, and they find out, hey, this is the only safe place. Which I thought, okay, it's because it's religious, but they try breaking their way in there. So it's not like they couldn't go into a church. Pink Panther, it's a very fun movie. It has better cheese than a pizza here in Chicago. Yep, like I said, they even film night scenes at noon. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. It's funny. Yeah, the night shots, I mean, you can see the blue sky. They don't even care. They don't even care. Which is a funny thing. But they find this cathedral. So the husband, wife, and the kid is in there, and like I said, his little girl about 10. Which, and then eventually, Jack Marlowe is the leader. He takes Vivian and the mayor and his henchmen, who all follow because Jack knows what he's doing, into the cathedral once they're called in. Hey, this come in here. This is the only safe place. And it's funny because they find Murdo in there, and he's hiding in this little nook area with a little briefcase with, like, I think bread in there. It was very odd, very odd. But they're hiding out in there, and they're just looking. Once they get everybody to run out of the, there's one main entranceway into the center of the town there, I guess. Villages back then were very tiny, so or in that area. So everybody runs out, and they're left to defend, I guess, the city. I don't know what happened to everybody else. They escaped. Okay. But the main group of people go into the cathedral, and here they're all watching these zombies out there who are just standing, looking up at the building. And hey, WTF, horror and sci-fi, what's going on? Paul Hamm, Armando de Osorio has a few more films not Blind Dead related: Fangs of the Living Dead, The Lorelei's Grasp, Night of the Sorcerers, and Demon Witch Child. Listen, I'm definitely, just like the Giallos, I'm up to watching a lot of these films, and hopefully some of them are just the creme de la creme of Euro horror, and I can't wait to find those ones. This one wasn't that, but it was an okay watch. I'll give you that. But once they get into this cathedral, Jack's kind of telling them all, and meanwhile, the mayor has been. This was funny. One of the big swords from those guys went right down and hit the mayor in his shoulder. He goes, "I'm all right." And through the entire movie, you could see a big, like, meat gash, like with blood, meat gash poker. I'm like going, okay, that's not good. But he survived it and acted like nothing was wrong. And from that point forward, when they were in the cathedral, he was trying his hardest to escape and leave all of them behind. He didn't care about anybody but himself, to the point that he sent others out to get the car. It was Jack's car, which of course isn't going to start up. So he sent the husband out of the wife and the little girl, and he got killed. Again, he could have easily run past them. I'm just saying. I mean, it is what it is. If you're a good football player, you're going to run right there. I think if you ran right through one of these things, you would knock them over and they would fall to pieces. The bones and skin would shatter. But what do I know? I don't know nothing. Anyways, he dies, and then he tries to get. He sends the girl. Okay, this is the thing. The mayor resorts to sending the little girl out to her daddy so he can kind of sneak over to the vehicle. I mean, how dirty and how awful is this? Emphasis on slow. Pink Panther, yes. And she's walking very slowly through all of these things, and they start following her. And I guess the only really thing they did, and this is what kind of got me, it's like does it matter if they're living? Does it matter if it's a child, a woman, or a man? Because Jack eventually goes out there to save her, and she's stuck in the door, a wooden door with a knife that I guess one of the zombies had into the door. Didn't go through her. It's like they pinned her to the door. Okay, and she was like calling out, and they didn't kill her. But I mean, that's a good thing. But the mother goes out to try to save her, and Jack gets her and starts to bring her back. And of course, the mother goes and gets a torch and goes after him because you can burn them. I guess you can burn. They won't live forever. You can destroy these things, and fire is one way of destroying them, I guess. And he runs back with the little girl. The mayor sneaks over to the car, and of course, it won't start, and he gets killed. Okay. Again, anybody out there, I'm looking and I'm watching, I'm giggling a little bit, as well as my daughter, because we're like, we could run right past them. Even if you're stuck in this corner, they're going like so slow that uh, I can't get over that. Okay. Um, if they had some kind of superhuman strength, but even wielding the swords, they were just, I mean, they couldn't even like take that sword and cut off the mayor's arm from shoulder down. I mean, I didn't understand. Um, Anyways, Murdo's in there, the blonde's in there. I should say that Murdo takes that blonde that at the beginning he saved. He said, "There's only one way out, and I could save you." So he takes a dresser drawer out. This sounds so wacky too. Dresser drawer. They go down this hole, and they're using the dresser drawer, the piece of big wood, and pushing the dirt and digging their way out of this underneath the cathedral. And they push the block, the rocks and stuff like that. And Murdo pokes his head up, and they chop it off. So they went through that, but not the mayor's shoulder. But they slice off Murdo's head, Nico's flying, and she's down there, the blonde's down there, hysterical, go, "What?" And pulls him down, and then she goes up there. Why would you do that when you see blood and the guy's decapitated? But she goes up there and she's dead. They just show a bunch of blood come down. And at the very beginning, the blood was like the paint, red paint. But through the rest of the film, it looked like real blood. So in a lot of European horror and stuff like that, like blood was, giallos too. I mean, it was an emphasis on, it was just red paint almost, kind of, which kind of added a little funny kind of thing to it. They are undead, but not immortal. Exactly, Paula. Yeah, I got that. Because, yeah, I mean, you were able to burn them and stuff. But, and if they got to their grave before the sun came up, listen, I don't even know what happened at the end of the movie. I'm getting to it very quickly. I'm not trying to last too long here. But I did want to talk about it. And basically, that takes care of Murdo, the blonde. The mayor's dead. There's a point where the last person there is the one henchman who had big mustaches for eyebrows. I mean, it just looked ridiculous. This guy was so hairy. I can probably all over his back and his shoulders and everything. I don't know. Hairy man. And he loved Vivian. He's, and he's telling her, "I want you. You're going to come with me." He's demanding that she be his, and he's going to go after Jack. And they have fight ensues. Punches are traded, and eventually, that guy gets thrown by Jack right into a spear, which goes right through his heart. So he's dead. So you're left with Jack, Vivian, and the little girl. And they do a really weird thing. This is kind of the end of the movie. Let me see. Was there anything else I really needed to touch on in this movie? That really is what was going on most of this. I mean, Jack, Vivian, and the little girl are in this cathedral just looking and going, "What are they doing?" And the sun comes up, and they're just looking out there going, "What do we do?" They're just standing there. They didn't leave. Like they thought come daytime they would be fine. But and it's funny that all the villagers left and they didn't bring any help. Even the governor didn't come to see, with some help in the morning. But they decide that they're going to walk as slow as possible through them and escape. Okay, and comical. The most hilarious thing is Dino trying to describe this movie. Listen, Pink Panther. Listen, I know this is a tough one, man. I don't know, and it's going to be a short discussion. It's 8:34. I don't think I'm going to take too much more time, unless we talk about something else after. But yeah, no, it's tough, and I'm mumbling my words. I don't know what to say. It's just, you know, it's been up so long. I'm like, I gotta at least talk about it. But and I don't got Dave here to talk about. Dave don't. He's not going to watch these movies. Ginger, she left a long time ago, so I don't. It's just me. Anyways, Duck Dodgers, what's going on? Good to see you. It's an Italian zombie stereo. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, the ending of the movie. They're walking. They decide to blindfold the girl because they're going to make their way out of town. They're going to escape, and they blindfold the girl. Oh, and this was just. I'm not even mentioning what they say. They're just basically saying, "Do you want? We're going to play a game." Okay, I'm gonna blindfold you, and just don't make a sound. Okay, a very disturbing thing to say. I don't know, it was weird, but um, basically tells the little girl that. I absolutely love your exasperation with how slow everyone is. Pink Panther. Did I mention how slow they were? Uh, So he blindfolds the girl and they hold her with the hand. I don't think they explained enough. Like, if you take the blindfold off, you might see something that might scare you. So please don't take the blindfold. It was just put the blindfold on, don't make a sound. So a big mistake. You got to describe a little bit more to this girl. But they're walking with, her hand. They're walking through all of the zombies. The zombies aren't moving. They're just standing there. And that's when the girl kind of lifts her blindfold off and she screams at the top of her lung. And they don't do anything. So they're just like sitting there. So Jack kind of walks up to one and pushes it, and it kind of falls to the ground. And from that point, they all start falling to the ground like dominoes. It's at the same exact point that you hear the rooster crowing. Okay. So then you go, oh, it's dawn. Okay. That's officially dawn. If they would have made their way back to their graves, they would have been fine. But they're in this sunlight. I mean, I was confused, Paul. Explain to me, because I know you're a smart guy. The governor told the mayor that he was a drunk. He was too interested in his mistress. Oh yeah, they listen. They were all upset about that. But at the end of the film, can you explain it, Paul? I mean, did they all die? Did all the zombies just fall down and die? Because their spirits certainly aren't going to go back to the grave. It's their decaying bodies that were supposed to go back to the grave before dawn. That's what they specified in the movie. But nonetheless, they all fall to the ground. The rooster crows, it's dawn. And Jack, Vivian, and the little girl walk off into and the music goes up. And just like, in most of these movies. And I'm so weak. Yeah, they just a crack in the zombie lore. Yeah, listen, I'm a little confused as to what happened at the end, and where is the next movie gonna the Ghost Galleon? I guess they're separate stories, so that's a different time that they awake from the dead and try to take their revenge on maybe, I think Ghost Galleon a ship? Isn't it a ship? But this one, yeah, I don't know. The first one, really, really good movie. I love how it all played out. This one, it was just meh. And they needed to have the zombies walk a little bit faster, look a little bit stronger. Even though I know they walked slow in the first one too, but it just had a different feel to it. Help me, I'm a zombie and I've fallen, I can't get up. Yeah, right. Yeah, but anyways, and there was a point where they were when he threw the fireworks to blow them up. You could tell it was a stick. Had to cough. You could tell it was a stick with just like a hooded whatever over it, and it just fell over. I got a cough again. Sorry, guys. What a lousy stream I gave you guys today. I'm so sorry. This is terrible. Anyways, that's the end of the movie. That is it. Paul Ham. They are present on the galleon, which appears at sea from another dimension, a phantom ship. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, no, I mean that's it, man. I don't have nothing else to say on this. I thought Murdo, that little character, they could have done a lot more with that, I think. But they didn't. The character, I did like the characters. Like I liked Jack and Vivian and the mayor and his henchmen. I like that they were also jealous over this Vivian and the way they acted towards each other. And I love that even the choreography that they like the fight scenes and stuff like that were basically just Jack punching them in the face and then holding him to get punched in the gut, and he just really never felt it. I mean, it was kind of pathetic and kind of funny. Dino never apologized for being sick. We all love you, so stop it. No, I know, sweet indigo. I know. Listen, it's 3.5 weeks, and still, I'm almost 100%, but still the cough and stuff. It's terrible. So anybody who's feeling sick out there, feel bad. It's just one of those. Yeah, it's cold and flu season. Harry Scott, what's going on? Donald Duck apple juice for everyone, and hello, Hotboy donuts to you. Yeah. I don't know. Is there something else we could do? It's 8:41. Is there any trivia or something that I can do? I didn't even. Hey, you zombies, shake a leg. You guys got anything to ask me? What I think? I am going to get into doing some Giallo. Listen, this was far from being a great stream, but at least you guys are here. I'm talking to you guys. I enjoy that. If you guys got questions to ask me, this is the time to ask it because I've got time on my hand. I've got time on my hand, and I can answer some questions. I'm glad Steerpike got into the chat. All is good there. The CBS Radio Mystery Theater shows tonight. I am working on another stream of detective shows that you've never heard before. Cleaning them up and boosting the audio and all that good stuff is taking a little bit of time, but hopefully maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'm hoping maybe. But yeah, I love the surprise mixes, like Steerpike said in one of the streams not a while back. He's like, "Listen, I love these surprise mixes because you don't know what's going on. Just like when you would listen to radio back in the day, you just didn't know what was coming next. It was part of the fun of listening to some of those things. So I like to do that. I know I'm going to get the occasional comment of, where are the timestamps? What do you do? Well, how come there's no timestamp? Listen, I try most of the time to get them. But I would have to, and listen, I was even contemplating, it's been what? Over 4 years here of every single night streaming. There are still shows. Most of them I would have to probably put on Dino's Duck Soup because that's the comedy channel and I could put anything over there. But it's hard to put the comedy, the musical, the variety, the game shows. It's hard to put that stuff over here. So I put most of that over on the other channel, Dino's Duck Soup. So, it's like I'm almost wondering whether to take a couple days off during the week, but then people like that I stream every single night. So I don't know. I'm contemplating a few things. You can't go wrong with CBS Radio Mystery Theater, Harry Scott. Yeah, no, and I got some really good ones lined up. So you'll love the stream tonight. It will be good. Mystery Theater is my fave. What's your favorite OTR show, Dino? Oh God. Paul Ham. I'll get to that in a second. My favorite old time radio show has got to be, and I've said this many times before, but of course, the Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce, Sherlock Holmes are my favorites. I could listen to those every day. Okay, it's one of those things. I love them. Sherlock Holmes, Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce. I do like the ones with Tom Conway and Nigel Bruce too. Those are good too, but the pairing just fantastic. But over the years, I've come across other shows like the one I did a couple nights ago with the rare episodes, like Raffles. Raffles is a detective. He's a character in this show, and there's only a couple that survived. And I put it in the stream a couple days ago, and I thought that was really good. But Richard Diamond, I've really come to love that character. It's funny, I like him better than Johnny Dollar. And Johnny Dollar is usually the top of everybody's. I think before Johnny Dollar, even, I love Richard Diamond better than Johnny Dollar. I like Sam Spade better than Johnny Dollar. I like Pat Novak better than Johnny Dollar. I like Sam Spade, Philip Marlowe. Though I love all those before Johnny Dollar, and then Johnny Dollar. But that's just like being stupid and going. Any of those could be your favorite at any time. They're so close because listen, Bob Bailey, Johnny Dollar, let George do it, right? I mean, that's Bob Bailey. You know, it's a great show. All of those grouped detective shows are all great. I tell you, my second favorite old time radio show of all is Jack Benny. Jack Benny is fabulous. I mean, he ran for frickin', oh my God, what was it, 13 years or longer? And then 13, I think, and then he went to TV. So, yeah, I just love it. I love it. But the Mel Blanc show is probably third. I love the Mel Blanc show. That's Mel Blanc but he's Mel Blanc, the Fix-It Shop, and he's got this little character, Zookie, who helps him in the Fix-It Shop. Zookie is basically Porky Pig. It's basically Porky Pig. And he deals with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's father in Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. I have it on the channel, so you can check it out. It's so good. And it's like, oh gosh, maybe I don't even think I can get 2 streams. How many episodes? Maybe 40, 30, something like that. But really good. Paul Ham did ask me, how about classic horror trailer viewing? Paul, the only thing is I gave up on showing any video of any kind a long time ago, because even the trailers, they'll copyright you and they'll hit you. And, some will get very angry. I know people do trailer reactions and all kinds of stuff, but they got to deal with a lot of like copyrights and stuff like that with that. And it gets really tough. I would love to do that, but that's something I can do with my Patreons and stuff like that for like a movie night on a Friday or something like that. Just watch horror trailers and stuff like that. But let's see. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, Harry Scott. Really do appreciate it. Although I do love X-1 and Night Beat. Yeah, X-1, it's funny. I mean, X-1 is great, and it's one of everybody's favorite sci-fi shows. Alien Worlds is another great one, but Alien Worlds was done in the 70s. But, when it comes to sci-fi, I'm kind of a Space Patrol or Planet Man kind of guy. I like the more it's not juvenile. It is. I mean, it was for the teens and the kids, but it didn't play off like it was a kid show. Like an adult can listen to it, and they were great episodes, especially Space Patrol. The commercials were aimed at kids, but yeah, I loved Space Patrol. Probably a little better. A good idea for Patreon. Yep, yep. If you guys haven't joined the channel or Patreon, the links are attached to the chat above. It's a good place to have fun some nights and watch movies and stuff like that. So, let's see. Somebody asked me something else. Do you have any more of those from South Africa? Uh, which one's Duck Dodgers? There's a lot from South Africa. I'm trying to think of what I was talking about. I think, listen, I've played a lot of South African old time radio on there. I played some Australian. So let's see. Uh, let's see. Veil of Darkness. Yeah, that's another WW World War One South African. I played all of those except there's 3 episodes, and I had to throw them on a different stream, and I couldn't fit it in 12 hours. So it's out there. But those are dark. Those are really dark episodes. They get into what war is all about, but it's played out so well, so good. Left-handed Jedi, what is going on? Good to see you. Night Watch, of course, another great one. Detective show. By the way, anybody, it doesn't look like some of the old time radio people are watching or listening to my Johnny Ryder detective episodes. The Adventures of Johnny Ryder Detective, Dead on the Docks, and the latest one, Ryder Gets Revenge. I think they're really, really good, and I think the old time radio audience would really enjoy the stories. They're roughly about 20 minutes long, like a full length episode. I'm writing to try to get one out a week. Same with the Clue Club. The Clue Club's doing great. Johnny Ryder, not so much. This last one, probably the best story of them all, and it's only got 522 views so far. So try to check that out. They're done in the way and the style of the noir detective. It's set in 1960s San Francisco, and you've got Johnny Ryder, you've got Daisy Diamonds, who's his lady who helps him, the secretary, and you got Billy Bubbles, okay, who is the whimsical sidekick who goes out and helps, like kind of like the Baker Street, for Sherlock Holmes, or regulars, that kind of thing. But it's kind of a Sam Spade type, noirish type episodes, and I hope that you guys enjoy those and really think those are cool. Let's see. Dino, Riff Tracks movie nights. Could do that. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Paul Ham, how about a discussion on classic horror television shows such as Twilight Zone, Thriller, The Outer Limits, Night Gallery? Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah. I am in the process of getting newer stuff together. Listen, me and Dave got a great Sunday night going. Those are perfect. We cover great things. Kolchak is next. And Saturday nights are game nights. Those are always fun. Thursday nights, like tonight, are usually game nights also. But I just wanted to get this one out of the way and talk about Return of the Evil Dead. But I'm looking to get some sort of podcast style, talking about horror movies and horror news and stuff like that together. Um, you know, so look forward to maybe some newer content. But listen, I'm putting out all kinds of content like, I just did story of the X-Files, the story of Dark Shadows, the story of Kolchak I even did. I've done a lot of cool little. I've got a lot of good creepy pasta stories and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know I put out. Sometimes it's 3 videos a night. I mean, there's usually a short, something at 7 p.m., and then the overnight streams. Unless I'm doing a live myself and it's an 8 p.m. stream. But yeah, no, a lot of good stuff. I think. Let's see. They are great stories. They did Avengers also. Those are the only two I've heard, but if they can do those, maybe others are also. Um, yeah, I think you're talking about the South African shows. Let's see. Yes, you and Dave are epic. Yeah, me and Dave do good stuff. Outer Limits are great. Dark Shadows, yes. Just did it's like just a short commentary, like the story of, the making of these. So I've got various playlists of things I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like the story of, or classic actors. Like I even put kaiju characters. Listen, I had to dive into the world of kaiju. Okay. Kaiju back in the day, the 60s to 70s. Listen, I'm sure you guys know the Ultraman series. Ultraman. There are literally 1,000 kaiju characters, and they all look so weird, and they have so many powers and abilities, and it's just the coolest thing. Like when I got into it again, like a couple weeks ago, I mean that soon, rewatching Ultraman and the kaiju characters and stuff in it, so complex. The writers really went to town. The imagination is awesome. I freaking love it, man. I just really, really do. Um, Carl's Order of the Squirrels. What's going on? Only from Dino. Love Ultraman. Watch Dark Shadows as a kid late at night when I was about 10 on weekends. Oh lordy, what's that mean, Carl? Not sure what that means, but yeah, diving to Dada Kaiju has the best costume. I don't know. I don't know. Listen. If you look at my shorts, Dracula's kaiju. He's like this weird bunny, abominable bunny character with huge vampire bat ears. It's so. But Dada is a real. Listen to it. I explain exactly what that character is about and what his powers have. They're shorts, and in a minute I get it all out there. Gan Q. The dude has one huge eye in the middle of his weirdly shaped reptilian type body, which has other little eyes all over it. It's just, listen, it is so weird and so cool that I can't even explain it. Kaiju is all over the place. The original Ultraman was great. Yes, there are different genres of kaiju. Like the Ultraman characters are, I mean, they're these kind of weird creatures that technically a lot of them can get super tall, just like Ultraman, and can shrink in size. Then you got like the old school style, which is what we're going to do on Saturday, the Battle of Godzilla, Mothra, Gamera, those type of, reptilian giants like dinosaurs. So there really are different kind of genres. Creature feature, unicorn versus gargoyle. Um, Dada's costume looks like Grace Jones paint. He appears anywhere and drives folks crazy. Yeah, exactly. Good, well said. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, Ultraman, I had to dive in, so I'm getting those out too. But listen, you guys, yeah, I did kind of an hour. I talked about the film. Um, Yeah, what a stream this is, huh? Yeah, what a stream. But I just did want to talk about it and let you guys know what else is going on. Johnny Robot. Once you dive into Ultraman, you're diving into a whole different universe, and it's kind of cool. It really is. Um, Anyways, okay. So with that said, you guys, let's see. Ultraman every episode was a short Godzilla movie, kind of. Mothra movie you can see on YouTube, the late '90s, early 2000s Godzilla also. Yep. The Chiller anthology with Anthony Perkins is nice. Yeah, the Chiller anthology, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Check out Daimajin for some weird kaiju Dino. Okay, we'll do that. I should write that down. Although I've got a list, Paul Ham, of hundreds of kaiju. Most of them from the, and I'm writing it down. Most of them from the Ultraman series, but definitely going to dive into a little bit more. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to just keep it at an hour tonight. It was all over the place. Thanks for putting up with the stream tonight, you guys. Kind of was spur of the moment. Decided to watch the movie last night. Jumped on. Had a busy day today. I am coaching track at my son's school, so I get to. I'm basically a track and field coach, so it's kind of fun. Kind of fun. Something I loved when I was younger, and went to states and now my son, as a sophomore, has the ability to be breaking the long jump, the pole vault, and who knows with the hurdles. He does high hurdles, low hurdles. It's going to be awesome. So that's what I'm doing through the day. So on top of putting together streams, I'm coaching for about 2 to 3 hours through Monday through Friday, and doing all of this. So thank you, Harry. I'm fine. I feel like I was the only one that watched it. The movie? Oh no. Well, listen, Paul Ham watched them all. But did any of you watch Spectre Man? Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I loved being all over. Connie. Yeah, no. Sometimes I get. Sometimes I do streams where I'm just not with it. Duck Dodgers, 1966 Ultraman, exactly. So sometimes I'm just not with it. It's just how I am. If I'm not prepared, if I don't prepare for a stream, you're going to get a weird, wacky Dino. And there's plenty of streams like that out there where I've went into it to start to do a stream, and I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. What am I doing here? I don't even know. We get only the best from you, Dino. Thank you, Carl. Listen, sometimes it is just cool talking to you guys and stuff. Oh, he will. My son will break the records. He's close now. He may break it as a sophomore this year, and I will keep you guys updated. I'm sure most of you guys don't really care, but if you care about, that we are a family here. So thanks, Dino, for all you do. You are appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just go over to here, check out a couple things. Okay. Yeah. With that said, I am going to stop. And CBS Radio Mystery Theater surprise mix bag tonight. Enjoy it. What I did was I put the title of tonight is, because I love to give like a nice little spin on things. Stories for the cold and dark. And I only say that because it's so cold outside. It gets dark at 5 o'clock. I hate the cold. But listening to these stories, you wrap yourself in your blanket, nice thick robe, whatever you want. Yes, I got a nice thick black robe that I use. So that's the one for tonight, and it's got a good mix I put together. I always try my best to put together the best episodes for you guys. So and I make sure they're spread out throughout the years here. So expect a good one. And listen, Dino's got to shut up and go. Just rambling talk is good sometimes. Never know what comes up. Duck Dodgers. Yep, exactly. Jamie Hill. What is going on? Jamie Hill. Let me put that on the stream, get that avatar. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you, Jamie. Good to have you on the stream. You picked one to pop in on that is kind of all over the place, but Paul Ham says another good show. Well, thank you very much. Listen, overall, Paul, it's a 5 out of 10 for me. You know me. You've I think watched me and Ginger do most of those Giallo reviews that I did, and 80% of those were 5 out of 10s. But man, the cream of the crop. I forget what I gave the first movie, Tombs of the Living Dead. Maybe a 6, somewhere right there. It was slightly above average. But anyways, thank you, Paul Ham. Thank you, everybody who came here. Geez, these baked beans, some powerful onions in them. Ooh, Carl, that sounds good. Do you love baked beans with like mashed potatoes, like where the juices from the baked beans get over into the mashed potatoes? Something so simple that my mom would make when I was younger that I loved. She would fry up the sausage. She would bake the sausage. She would throw the sausage afterwards in a big pan with baked beans. She would add some like mustard. I mean, it really did add to it. Little bit of brown sugar and good to go. Bake it on 350 for like an hour, and it thickens up the beans, and then you eat that with the sausage and beans, and it's the juices of the beans and the mashed potatoes. That's all you need. And I would take a little bite of the beans, little bite of the potatoes, and then a little piece of the sausage. And then you take that bite and it just tastes so, so good. You got me so hungry now. Come on, Dino. The Blind Dead movies are solid 10s. Pink Panther, Shesh. Jimmy Christmas. Jimmy Christmas. What the heck? 4.5 for me, says Connie. I can't see to type. Oh boy. Yeah, no, listen, I need these I mean, listen, they're not that strong. I can see a spider in the corner, an ant crawling, but you know, when you get this close up, I need my cheaters. Anyway, maple syrup and baked beans in Canada. I've done that too, Jamie. Bake it, and I, instead of the brown sugar, would add 100% dark maple syrup, 100% maple, pure maple syrup, and bake it with the sausage. Oh, so the maple syrup replaced with the brown sugar. It's either or, so it depends. But so good, so good. Yeah, Pink Panther. Yeah, smart Alec. 10 out of 10s. Yeah, you're on something. Yeah, you're on whatever those Knights Templars are on, right? No, I'm joking. But good to have you, Jamie. Glad to have you here. Look forward to Saturday night, a fun trivia or game battle, kaiju battle. And I'd like to talk about more horror movies, but anyways, something down the line. Onions making me cry. Carl, how are the onions making you cry? They've got to be pretty raw then. How do you got raw onions in your baked beans? What's going on there, Carl? I don't know. You need to cook those. Otherwise, yeah, they're gonna make you cry, especially the white onions. You cut that down the middle and open it up. Hooey! You can be anywhere in that room. It's gonna tear you up. Can you imagine all of that going through the air, and then it makes you just your tear duct just go. It's crazy. Yes, I am very, very slow. Okay. Anyways, I'm going, you guys. Much love to you guys. Thank you, guys. Peace as always. And I'll catch you on Saturday night.